I'm Nicole Versansky from 19 News. Here are the latest headlines for Wednesday, February 4th, 2026.
First with breaking news. First with new information. Plus, your first alert forecast. 19 News starts now.
A standoff in Akron has come to an end, a stressful day coming to an end for many. Good afternoon. I'm Brian Duffy.
And I'm Nicole Versansky. Boy, there was a lot happening at this scene, a lot of tense moments throughout the day.
That's right. 19 News' Catherine Huntley has been there all day tracking this breaking news.
So, Catherine, fill us in, kind of walk us through everything that's happened.
Well, first off, marshals have been here since about 7 a.m. this morning trying to arrest a fugitive of justice, but it all went crazy very, very quickly. And then just a little bit ago here, how it ended, we were standing here getting ready for another show, and we hear men screaming and saw people with guns running towards this burnt out home. A man that they didn't even know if he was alive inside was successfully taken out and taken to the hospital. Thankfully, everyone seems to be okay. Of course, one person is facing serious charges now, but a child who was trapped inside with the man is also going to be okay. Thankfully, the 3-year-old was safely removed from the home during that active SWAT situation today. That was before the home erupted in flames. It all started around 7 a.m. this morning when marshals tried to arrest a man in the home. He would not leave. Then they got the child out. Then the home erupted in flames. But 35-year-old Tristan Dent at the end of the day was walking out of the burnt-out home, lying on a stretcher he left in the ambulance. Miraculously, in the standoff and subsequent fire, marshals say he was able to hide behind a false wall behind a dryer in the basement of the home to escape the smoke and flames. Right now, Dent is being processed by marshals. He's escaped them for 3 years after he and a dozen others were indicted for multiple felony federal drug offenses. Earlier today, we spoke with Akron Police about this difficult operation.
I know, obviously, with the fire, then you add in the element of a firearm being involved. It's very dangerous for us. So we're just trying to be slow and methodical in how we approach this.
Now, we still don't know what started this fire. That's really the big question right now. Family members we spoke to said that the flames erupted shortly after police sent in some sort of tear gas-like substance. However, Akron police told us that is not a flammable chemical to put in there. So right now, fire investigators are combing through this building, trying to figure out how that fire started. And of course, Dent is facing extremely serious charges after he's been a fugitive for 3 years. For now, live in Akron, Catherine Huntley, 19 News.
Now your 19 First Alert forecast. Certified most accurate since 2004.
All right, the cold weather continues, and we're getting you set for Friday. Now, a First Alert weather day.
Yeah, we've got snow on the way. 19 First Alert meteorologist Andy Chillian joining us now, tracking all of it.
Yeah, snow followed by another round of cold. This one looks to be more temporary, though, not as long-term as what we went through. But we do want to give you the alert to Friday. Not a lot of snow compared to what we've seen so far in systems this season, but it's all about the timing, and our latest data coming in, speeding it up a bit. So that means that both the morning and evening commutes can still be impacted. We're going with 1 to 4 inches. There may be some locally higher amounts, up to about 6 in the snow belt. There'll be the system snow that moves through, and then the lake effect to follow. Yes, getting some lake effect, especially if we can get a Lake Huron connection, so where the lake is, of course, not 95% frozen over there. Plus, I'm looking at more cracks to develop in the ice. I wouldn't be surprised if our ice coverage on Lake Erie goes down Friday into the weekend because of how windy it's going to be. That means the ice will absolutely not be safe to go on as we head through this weekend. Meanwhile, temperatures and wind chills right now, not too much of a wind in Akron. In fact, the temperature and wind chill are the same, but 18 feels like 9 in Cleveland, 21 feels like 13 in Worcester, 17 only feels like 5 in Mansfield. So another cold one out there. You may still be seeing a few flakes fly, just a little bit of lake effect that we can get, but there's been more sunshine, I would say, than not today. The flurry's not really amounting to anything. So we'll stay pretty quiet through the evening despite a few flakes. Not much of a breeze overnight. We'll fall to around 10 along the lakeshore, and then single digits can be expected away from that mark. But hey, it's another nice day to see the sunshine whenever we can get it here in winter. I'll break down more on Friday's snow. show you the updated snow tracker, how much we're looking at. There is going to be a brief Arctic blast to follow this weekend, but yes, all eyes on next week, finally moderating. Can we finally get above freezing? I'll let you know coming up here with the 7-day in just a bit.
Well, at 3 o'clock, we told you we found hundreds of references to Cleveland throughout the massive Jeffrey Epstein files that have been released by the Department of Justice.
So, as Dan DeRose is back to explain, though, we really can't find any evidence that have really a direct connection to anything that Epstein was being criminally investigated for.
It's really bizarre, and I highly encourage you, go to cleveland19.com. We've given you the link to the DOJ files, and you're going to be able to look up Cleveland. When we put in just the word Cleveland, we got 798 hits, 798 different files. Some of them were just, a street in Florida was named Cleveland. Somebody had the last name Cleveland. Some of them, though, did have something to do with the city of Cleveland. Bard High School, Early College, Cleveland. We do know the Epstein connection here. We're not sure why this picture is in the files. The DOJ gives us no explanation. We don't know who these young women are. There's no association that they were on the island. There's nothing like that. In fact, I reached out to the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. This is a college preparatory high school that is under the CMSD umbrella. They said, we have learned of the photo of two people wearing shirts with the name of one of our high schools and an email attributed to the president of the Bard College in New York. We are not aware of any substantive link to CMSD beyond the shirts. Again, there is nothing in this file that says why this picture is included in the Epstein files. Here's the email. Again, we're talking about this Bard preparatory. You go to high school, you get your degree, but you're also taking college classes at the same time. We found emails of the president of Bard University out of New York sent to Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey, the short and sweet of it is that just ask him to help Bard. He's looking for money for this set of schools. Culture, forget it. We run a fast-growing Common Core compatible network of high school/early colleges in the public sector, including New York, Newark, New Orleans, Cleveland, and Baltimore. We would like to expand, and we lose money on these already, and they need support. Let's take his excuses away from doing you the favor he owes. And thanks. Hope to see you soon. There's another email where he talks about he's going to be in New York and he wants to meet up with Epstein. None of this has anything to do with these sex abuse allegations down on his private island. And that is the overwhelming majority of what we see in these files. I do have a comment from Bard University. Bard's inclusion in those mentions, it's in the context of a wonderfully successful program which Bard has pioneered. And unrelated, Epstein happened to be a Bard donor unsolicited back in 2011, long before we knew what a monster he was, which the school has publicly acknowledged many times. Cleveland 19 is mentioned in the files. Strangely, because some of our staff have written articles that include mentions of the FBI, nothing to do with Epstein, but yet those stories are in the Epstein files, and none of it seems to make sense. Brian?
Okay, Dan, thank you. Now, first at 4, new information on the plane crash in Brimfield Township Sunday. The Ohio State Highway Patrol reports the father and the daughter who were hurt in the crash are now home, recovering. Thankfully, neither of them were hurt seriously. Plane went down a mile off Ranfield Road. It was on its way back to Wadsworth Municipal Airport. You can see the cockpit completely crushed. It landed upside down. The cause of the crash remains under investigation.
New information on a missing persons case that we told you about last night. So today, the FBI announced a $10,000 reward for information that leads to Paige Coffey. Coffey was last seen in May of 2019. This is her picture. So she was leaving a Home Depot store in Cleveland. Her family reported her missing 10 days later. She's about 5'7", 185 pounds. Her family told 19 News that someone new is being assigned to her case, and they hope a new set of eyes will help bring Paige home.
This is a 19 First Alert breaking traffic alert.
A flipped over car in a crash in Mayfield Heights has the ramp that goes from 271 northbound to Mayfield Road completely blocked off. This is that flipped car right there. Again, it's blocking the exit ramp that goes from 271 North to Mayfield Road. But there's a multitude of first responders that are also on the local lanes here on 271 North, blocking the left side of the highway. I just watched crews leave part of the express lanes that they were on the right side. So we have a multitude of first responders, as you can see here, again, working on this crash that involves this flipped over car here. Now, traffic is moving very slowly in this area as drivers are filling up the freeway trying to go home. Speeds are as slow as just 7 miles per hour, and delays are already more than 30 minutes. So if you have loved ones who typically head north on 271, I would give them a call to let them know to find a detour, use the side roads through Pepper Pike and Mayfield Heights. Otherwise, they will be stuck again on 271 North for 30 extra minutes.
President Trump's border czar plans to reduce the number of federal officers in Minneapolis.
Well, this comes after 2 U.S. citizens were shot and killed there last month.
So lawmakers have 2 weeks to reach a deal on reforms to the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency.
And now that needs to be done before funding runs out. Erica Brown has the latest now from Capitol Hill.
President Trump's border czar Tom Homan announced the withdrawal of hundreds of federal agents from the Minneapolis area after immigration officers fatally shot 2 American citizens last month.
We'll draw down 700 people effective today.
About 2,000 agents remain in Minnesota, and Homan says his goal is a complete drawdown if certain conditions are met.
That is largely contingent upon the end of the illegal and threatening activities against ICE and its federal partners that we're seeing in the community.
Democrats on Capitol Hill are demanding, quote, dramatic reforms to ICE before they agree to fund the Department of Homeland Security for a full year, with just over a week to reach a deal with Republicans.
We need real accountability. There's got to be oversight.
The top Democrats in both the Senate and the House say they're in agreement about proposed changes and urge Republicans to come to the table for negotiations.
We're ready to proceed in good faith.
Some Democrats are also calling for the ouster of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. Wednesday, she visited the border wall in Arizona and touted the administration's immigration policies.
It is so quiet here now today that sometimes we even forget how bad it was just a little over a year ago.
House Democrats from Arizona criticized Secretary Noem's visit as a publicity stunt. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Well, it's still cold out there, but looks like the sun is peeking out
Beautiful.
over downtown Cleveland. It's been pretty sunny today. It does seem to make a bit of a difference when we have to deal with cold temperatures like this. We've got snow on the way for Friday. Andy Chillian returns in 2 minutes with your first alert forecast. Well, the NBA trade deadline is less than 24 hours away, so will the Cavs make another move? I think a lot of people asking that question. Most fans are still in shock after last night's blockbuster move.
Shock is a good word for this. Trading Darius Garland for James Harden. 19 Sports reporter Ashley Holder and I had a long conversation about this today. She's in the studio now with a closer look at what this trade could mean for the Cavs.
Yeah, the trade deadline is tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, so there could be more moves on the way, but this is the biggest deal in the league right now, and there are some strong opinions on both sides. Age is one big factor. Why would you trade a 26-year-old guard for a 36-year-old guard? Injury is another factor. Garland's always hurt, and he's actually hurt right now. The deal does save the Cavs some money down the road, and they now have the 4th best odds to win the championship, even though Harden has a history of failing in the playoffs.
1-for-1. This is an undeniable upgrade. Garland to Harden is an upgrade for the Cavaliers.
And it doesn't really make sense long term, present day, anything. It just, the timelines don't match up. Nothing makes sense in this scenario. So, I'm not a fan of it.
League sources have told me that Cavs players in the locker room didn't trust Garland. They were frustrated with him, especially in recent weeks. He started the year with a toe injury, and then in January he suffered an injury to the other toe. So they were frustrated with him being in and out of the lineup in recent years, and there was a sense that he wasn't doing everything possible to prevent injury.
James Harden going to Cleveland, I love that. That moves the needle for me. Every big man that James Harden has played with, game has elevated.
But what I think is most likely to happen is he's going to opt out and they're going to sign him to a 2-year deal. Harden was looking for 2 years, $80 million fully guaranteed. So let's see if that's what he's going to get with the Cavs or how this kind of plays out. But right now, I like it for the Clippers if they can get Garland healthy. I'm not sure I like this for the Cavs. I'm not sure how it's going to look, Harden and Donovan Mitchell.
Clearly, you could go either way. The Cavs are in L.A. to face the Clippers tonight. We know that Garland won't play. Not sure yet about Harden. And one more note, Garland's father, Winston Garland, also played for the Clippers back in the 80s. Ashley Holder, 19 News.
Okay, right now we have a poll on our website asking what you think about the James Harden and the Garland trade. Do you love it, see the pros and cons of it, or do you hate it? So the numbers right now only, 18 or 16% love it. Pros, see the pros and cons, 52%, and hate it, 31%. So what are you going to do? Trade has been made. Let's see what Harden does.
Now your 19 First Alert forecast. Certified most accurate since 2004.
A lot of opinions in the sports world for Cleveland, and maybe on this weather too. We have 19 First Alert weather days. Now, we have been talking about Friday. We have now added one for Saturday, and that's going to be mainly in the morning because we could be dealing with some dangerously low wind chills. And I'll show you that in just a bit. So now we have not Friday and Saturday as 19 First Alert weather days for that snow followed by Arctic chill. Let's talk about Friday. We're looking at a system snow and then lake effect to follow. In general, 1 to 4 inches is what we're going with. There may be locally higher amounts in the snow belt with that lake effect that follows. If we can get a fetch off of Lake Huron, that would sort of overcome all the ice that we have on Erie. But even on Lake Erie, with this wind gusting up to 40 miles per hour from time to time, especially late Friday into Saturday, there's going to be a lot more cracks in ice. I would say our ice coverage starts to trend down a bit, which means that the ice will absolutely not be safe at all to be on over this weekend. So travel on Friday. Be mindful of both the morning and evening commutes being impacted by this snow. Meanwhile, our wind chill tracker, even as early as tomorrow morning, we could get wind chills below 0. Friday morning won't be as bad because of the snow that's moving in, but this is what it's going to feel like on Saturday morning, potentially 15, maybe even up to 20 degrees below 0. That would warrant a cold weather advisory from the National Weather Service. And so I know we've been through this recently, but it's just a heads up. At least there's no school on Saturday. Sunday morning, when the sun is coming up, not as bad as Saturday, still below 0. And then we finally will start to see things moderate a bit on Monday, and that will be with the temperatures rising as well. So here's a look at our First Alert Future View. Not much going on here over these next 24 hours. You may still be seeing some flakes from time to time. It really doesn't amount to much. It's cold to start the day tomorrow, though, single digits expected. As we head into your Friday morning, and this has sped up a bit with this latest guidance, so that's why I say we really need to watch the Friday morning commute. If it slows down, we might get by okay, but this would show widespread snow for the morning commute, which could slow you down on Friday. Now, as we get to Friday afternoon, you see a little break for a time, and then for the evening commute, another push of snow, a snow burst essentially, maybe a squall moving through. We had one of those not too long ago. We'll need to watch for that. And then lake effect develops behind it, and we're very cold into Saturday morning with single digits, and maybe some of us getting our actual air temperatures below 0. So here's a look at the snow tracker from Friday through early Saturday, and I've upped amounts a bit in parts of the snow belt where we could see up to 6 inches. Most of us, though, in that 1 to 3, 1 to 4 inch range. Cleveland, I'd say we're getting about 2 to 3. A lower end of that range on the west side, higher end of that range on the east side. 3 to 4 for the rest of the snow belt here, and even down south, we could see some of those secondary snow belt locations getting a couple 2 or 3 inches of snow during that time period. So First Alert 7 days shows Friday and Saturday highlighted. Friday's about the snow. Could see some lake effect snow lingering on Saturday, but biggest concern is the cold in the morning. It's going to be real cold, frigid Sunday morning as well, but look at this moderation next week. Finally above freezing, and we'll keep it dry Monday through Wednesday for right now.
An hours-long standoff in Akron has ended in an arrest. At 7 this morning, that's when it started. You're looking right now at video of the suspect being arrested, but it started at 7 this morning. U.S. Marshals serving a warrant to 35-year-old Tristan Dent. This is a home on Kenilworth Drive. We're told a 3-year-old child was also inside the home at the time. Dent refused to come out. A few hours later, the child was safely removed from the home. Now, at one point, you're seeing that video here, that the house was on fire. Fire crews called in to put it out. Police say Dent actually escaped those flames, hiding in a false wall in the basement. He was taken into custody just before 3, about 8 hours after the standoff started.
All right, an older man critically injured in a house fire. This is Tremont. Look at that fire go. Home near the intersection of Scranton and Agnes Court. Man was rushed to the hospital with burns. We're working to get the latest on his condition. There were other people inside the home. They got out safely. Firefighters said a neighboring home was also damaged by that fire. Cause remains under investigation.
A major question in the future of Burke Airport: funding. It's been operating at a loss for years, so airlines at Cleveland Hopkins have actually been covering the loss. A major moneymaker for Burke has been parking for Browns games. Now, when the team moves to Brook Park, that money is gone. So now the city is looking at what could replace Burke Airport to generate tax revenue for the city.
Today, Barron's Bus, Greyhound, and Go Bus started operating from a new terminal. Now it's on Brook Park Road next to the Rapid Station. It's no longer on Chester. It's just 1 mile from Cleveland Hopkins Airport. The new terminal offers indoor waiting space and improved amenities. Carriers will continue serving downtown Cleveland. They have a stop on East 12th between Rockwell and St. Clair.
Breaking at this hour, the search for Nancy Guthrie continues. Investigators working with her family, including Today Show host Savannah Guthrie, to find her. The 83-year-old was reported missing Sunday when she did not show up for church. Blood was found outside and inside her home. The FBI right now is analyzing a possible ransom note, which was sent to an Arizona news station. That station at the time agreed not to report it.
Prosecutors say they will seek the death penalty for the man accused of shooting 2 National Guard members in Washington, D.C. On Wednesday, he entered a plea, not guilty, allegedly traveled from Washington State to D.C. and shot 2 National Guard members near the White House. One of them died. The other is still recovering from their injuries. Now, first at 4, to a local family rebuilding their future. Their belongings all lost to this devastating fire.
But a life was saved thanks to a split-second decision. Isabella Roberts spoke with a mother and daughter about that today.
That split-second decision happening right here when fire broke out on Saturday. Brianna Nellick was trapped in her bedroom. Her only way out, those windows right behind me and the roof just beyond it. Brianna tells me today she feels lucky she's even alive to tell the story of her escape. Brianna Nellick gets emotional talking about that morning and the people who saved her life.
So thank you, and thank you for everyone who responded to the house.
For the first time, Brianna is recounting her escape from that home on West 134th Street.
I knew something felt off, and that's when I opened my bedroom door, and the whole upstairs hallway was filled with orange smoke.
Nellick and her boyfriend were the only ones home. He ran downstairs and escaped with 1 dog, but Brianna was trapped upstairs. A 911 dispatcher told her to climb out her 2nd-story window.
My EMT paramedic instincts kicked in, and I've worked with fire, and I knew I had to get out of that house.
So Nellick climbed onto the roof.
The firemen immediately, they saw me, grabbed a ladder, got me down.
In a matter of minutes, Nellick was safe on the ground, and word was just reaching her mom, Jennifer McNeely.
It's the worst call I could have ever thought I'd get.
Now the family is dealing with the aftermath. They lost everything, including 2 dogs.
So now we're living at my mom's house. And so there's lots of us in a smaller ranch house.
A GoFundMe has been set up while the family works with insurance.
I'm blessed. We are definitely all blessed that we have all these people, but it's going to be a long road.
Cleveland Fire is still investigating how the fire started. In Cleveland, Isabella Roberts, 19 News.
I'm Nicole Versansky. Thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe for the latest headlines every weekday. Don't forget, you can watch all of our newscasts streaming live or on demand at 19 News Plus. Download the app for your smart TV today.